Hallo, met Alpay. Telling his life story and the future projects during his youth. So we were still in Brussels, still with Mr. Morris, Tops catering company, new unit manager. And since I've been in Belgium, in Brussels, everything goes so smoothly and always upgrading my position. So all the young men and the ladies and gentlemen, so always progress, don't stay in the same position. So luck and my bring my background and my qualification helped me to rise the position. So I was a unit manager and the branch manager. So life was going okay, and Belgium was a wealthy country. So many good businessmen doing a good business. There was no crisis in Europe at that time. And still for Turkish people, there was no visa obligation. So you can travel easily from one country to another and find a job. So in the meantime, I was in a good connection with the embassy, Turkish embassy people, Turkish consulate and tourism office. And one day they rang me and saying that you are coming to past your age of military service in Turkey. I was almost now 25, 26. Life passed very quickly. The years passed very quickly. Sous le pont Mirabeau Coulassin. So it goes. So you don't realize. So I said, okay, then can we have a time? What time? You have to decide. You do it or you don't do it. Normally, it's at 20 years old, all young men in Turkey go to army. But me, I was expanding my military service date further along because I was studying. But it was going to be hard if I delayed any longer. So I said, okay then. But I have to finish a few things because I was on my own at that time. I had my girlfriend, a British lady. So we were going to talk each other. Swat. Hi. So we said, look, are you serious, Mete? I said, yes. I said, well, my parents want to see you too, want to meet you. I said, okay then. So I took a few days off from job and we traveled to London. And that time it was the easiest way is to cross Sea Manche by boat, ferry boat, then took a train and go back all the way to London and then further up their home. So I met her parents. Her parents were working daytime, both in different job, and the evening we were getting together, but at that time we were out as well. So hardly see any, but they see me at least. They said, okay, hello Hakan. They see me at least saying that, yes, okay, he's going to be the future man, Turkish man. They didn't like much Turkish men because always all British had one history in Dardanelles, Çanakkale. One of their ancestors probably went there in the army, so they had a very bad experience. So they was reluctant. Anyway, we didn't care for that moment because Anne and me were serious. and we like each other, and we want to get married. So at least we got kind of have permission from their parents. Then I returned my job and give my notice, and I said, look, I want to go back to Turkey, so please forgive me. Of course, they were not happy, and they asked me to stay a couple of more weeks. So I went, make the preparation, and I flew back to Turkey. And honestly, I was away at least 5 years away from Turkey. I didn't go back at all. So everything changed. Not changed, everything stayed same. Same monotony, no action, no nothing. People jobless. And it was not very pleasant situation to see, to watch. And anyway, we made the necessary formalities with the military service operation, and I've been appointed as a training ground in Ankara. I sent to stay there. I was on the communication brigade. I did 3 months there, hard labor, of course, and everybody was younger than me. I am 25 at that time, 26. But I was looking. I was not going to stay in the army to training to newcomers. I was in connection, calling father. I said, "Do you have any better position you can push the highest level people?" And nothing happening. But suddenly, a friend of mine, he was in Switzerland. He come back. He was doing in the officer's mess. He was working there. He said to me, "Look, I'm sending a few people, good connection. So they're going to ask from your where you are to change your position to the in Ankara General Officer's Mess." They were going to make a demand. Okay, they requested. They come to see me. So I was appointed after all this training and blah blah. I was at the heart of Ankara Officer's Mess General. It was at least 30 rooms and the reception for foreign delegates, because I was speaking English and French. It did help me. So I started there. I was sleeping in the daytime and working at night. But normally, whoever there, you work at the reception as a 1 week on the night shift and 1 week on the day shift. But people said to me, there are more, what do you call it, experience and people before me. They said, "We will accept you to work with us unless you work all night shift." I said, "Oh yeah, I don't mind. But I didn't like to sleep all day in the coach all the time and work only at night time. So I had to find something else, something to do." So I didn't know anybody in Ankara. But the friend of mine, this clever guy, he said to me, "Look, what are you doing in the daytime?" I said, "I don't know. I'm looking, I don't know whether I can work or not." I said, "Yes, you can work. Look, I found a job for you. Go and apply for it." Yes, there was a French company in Ankara looking for a translator, Turkish, French, French, Turkish. And they were building a technical central in Kütahya. So they were doing all this correspondence in English, in French and Turkish. So they wanted somebody, part-time or full-time, doesn't matter, but they prefer full-time. I said, okay, I went there, I got the job. So, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, always look for something else. Always don't stay in your core. In your carapace. Get out, break it, look around, and always you find suitable some kind of income. So that money, it was very, very good for me. And normally soldiers get so little, so I was getting the managerial salary at the time. So I started, they make me an exam, quick exam. There was a solicitor there, and he asked me quite a few questions of what I'm doing, what were my backgrounds, and I think, So they make me translate one official letter, technical, of course. I had to look from the dictionary and translate it. I give it to them. I said, look, okay, you're okay, you start. Slowly, I go daytime there, nighttime I'm in the officers' mess, on duty. There was hardly anything to do because there was only 12 big bedroom and a few passerby. Unless there was an inspection the night time. When the general comes, there was a big meeting and big reception, so you have to be there. But I wasn't on my own. I had another colleagues there working with me. Anyway, it was going okay. It was going okay, and 1 month, 3 months, things are getting so smooth. And of course, then my officer, mess officer, he was a colonel. Was colonel or brigade, I think, brigade. And he was friendly with me. He says, I got good news from good reputation from you. You're doing very well. Thank you very much. Do you want anything else from me? I said, look, sometimes I go to see my parents or some relatives. You know, I will be off a couple of days. He says, doesn't matter. You just let me know when you travel, because this French company told me that sometimes they will travel to a few cities and to see the construction of the centrals. So they need me with one of the managers, one of the engineer, French engineer. So they started like that. So in the meantime, I'm corresponding with my British girlfriend, my future lady wife. So things are going like that. But it was a big shock, of course, after all these years, come back to Turkey and see things still same and nothing changed. And also there was some government crisis during that time I was there. There was a generals changing, remuneration was late, and some crisis, government crisis coming and going, and so on. But still we were doing well. So because I was in Ankara, my girlfriend told me that he sent me a letter saying that she found a job in Ankara. So she's coming to start. She was looking she was going to work as an au pair, look after the children. One of the British consulate-based general. He was working with his family. He was staying with his family in Ankara. So they were looking for a nanny for their baby, about a year old or something like that. So she found it. She didn't ask me anything. She made clever girl. I don't know if you are interested in the stars. I am Gemini, and Gemini were very adaptable and adventurous people, and they are good with everybody. Napoleon Bonaparte was Gemini as well. My future wife was Sagittarius. I didn't know her character, but they were always advancing. So she found this job and she flew to Ankara, and she started working with this British family. So it was okay. I got a job. I got somewhere to stay. Officer's mess, and plus my future wife there. So what you can ask more? So luck turn again. So we were continuing. Of course, meantime I had a couple of day off I wanted, but I can't get it. I was waiting that the big official holiday start and everything get quiet and get the permission and travel for somewhere near if she got the permission from her job. But I was visiting her at her new job as well. So I was friendly with the colonel. I forgot his name. And they were inviting me sometimes for a private dinner. And he was carving the turkey and the cold buffet. We got some idea. The British very, very show. They show, but they give little. If you order big turkey, they cut a little bit. If it was in Turkey, you chop it and give the leg and this and that. So I know the style. And of course they were drinking as well. They love scotch, they love sherry. So big reception they were doing in their home. So life continued like that, and we were in Ankara. Was very, very busy at the time, as I was saying that. There was a big government change in that time, but we were doing very good. Getting the money, and we didn't know what to do with the money, of course. And we had one holiday time. We decided with my wife get a little day off. But instead of a day off, we said, well, can we go to 3 days or somewhere else? So we went a little surrounding places to go, but Ankara is nowhere to stay. Only place we decided to go, we made a tour agency we contacted. We gone to Konya, turning dervishes. We went there, but in the meantime, we were not sure what we're going to do in Turkey, whether we are going to stay in Turkey or whether we are going to go back to England. So I didn't know anything about England. So I was curious to go back to England after my military service, but I didn't know about the country, what sort of business I can get, and if my English is going to be enough for that. So my future was keep asking people and what I can do with company, so and so. So the two years army went well, very quick. There is one interesting incident happened during that period of time. While I was working with a French company, one day they said, look, this weekend we're going to, with the new engineer, French engineer, you will take him. They go to the central building area, 3 days in Aegean. They were building this thermic central. I said, okay then. So I got the permission, authorization. So we went there. He was driving, I was accompanying. In that technical central, the construction always finishing, coming to end. I met the Italian engineer there. They were helping. There was Turkish workforce plus some Indian. You will say, what's going on? Yeah, well, what is it? And for me also, it was what? I saw some Indians, and some of them, they were sheikh, yeah, they were the manager. You know, they keep surrounding their head like a sultans. They were helping to building in the construction. There was subcontractor and a few Indian workers there. It was not manual workers. They were engineer, but second degree engineer. They were all speaking English, of course, and they were subcontractor working for the French company. I didn't, you know, you make your CV, I told you, it's very important. You must put all the experience in there. What you done, what you do. Even you are doing your army, you are as a part-time, you put this. I put in my CV, I put that, and also I was working with the foreign companies, workers, as engineers as well. But it never came up to my mind one day. This experience, it will open me big opportunity in my career. So we will see in the next coming program. So we went this journey twice, maybe 3 times, but in the meantime I was in Ankara, and sometimes going to one place to another. And the reception, we hardly any foreign delegation, but we were all the generals coming there, and some high-ranking foreign officer coming to stay there. And of course, I was organizing their breakfast, their VIP lunch and dinner, and the officers' mess. Colonel, it was very, very disciplined guy. So he was afraid that anything will go wrong. So he was pushing me all the time, organize these dinners such a way that we don't want to hear anything. Of course, Turkey doner is very popular, and we keeping giving them a doner, even for foreigner as well. But some people, they don't like lamb. So I was organizing and changing the menu and asking there, and then what to put the steak and so on. So maybe stuffed turkey, when it to change the menu. It was okay. So life was going on like that, and we had to, as I say, if I remember from that, we had a few government change in there, a sort of coup d'etat situation came up, crisis in the government. So our officers mess were very, very busy. One general coming to the general going, they were doing meetings, and we had to organize all the vernissage and the meetings room, tea, coffee services, and their lunch and their dinner. It was hectic one moment. So I didn't know what's going on. I mean, the government coming down, government going. It was critical situation, but fortunately, when you are young and you have experience, and no problem. So you have to put on my. You shouldn't say, "Oh, this is not my job." You know, what can I do? I mean, let somebody else do it. But you are there. You have to do it. So in life, always you will have. In life, you will not have always good things happening. Sometimes the crisis will happen. So you should be able to handle them before getting the bigger crisis, because the people will rely on it. Sometimes you have to be quick thinking. So my experience in Belgium, and plus in this officers mess, trained me to solve the crisis. Don't panic. Understand the problem. So get to see the other side, get their opinion, and don't get angry quickly, and make everybody happy. Everybody satisfied, then okay. So it was really, I was happy that I had these 2 years in this military service, and plus my future wife was there. So of course my military service is coming to end, and we already start making the arrangement for the wedding. So my parents came to Ankara. We meet my future wife. So they were making their preparation as well. So in August we decided to get married. Of course, both were very anxious. So she gave her notice from this colonel, and I was finishing, and the money I had lousy money. They were in the bank, so we could have go back to England, but I wasn't keen to go to England because I don't know anything about it. Let's start in Turkey and see for a while what we're going to do. And he said, okay. So she agreed. So we organized time very nicely. And by the time I finished the army, we went to my parents' house. We stayed there in a flat. And we got married. And but of course my wife, she wanted to have different house, so we moved to a better place in Istanbul. We didn't stay in Ankara. We moved to Kabataş. You can see the Bosphorus, Kabataş, the old house, and there was some foreigner was staying there. It was a little garden, so we moved there, and while I was in the towards the end of my service, military service, I resigned from this French company, and this French company almost finishing as well anyway. So I had to offer. There was one big a la carte restaurant in Ankara. I used to go to eat there with my wife while I was in Ankara. And the manager says, look, can you come and work with us? I said, yes, I can do the part-time job or something like that. And I went there, and they did like me. And then they offered me a job. So while I was, I finished this military service, I stayed, I worked for them for a couple of months, maybe 3 months. I didn't go back straight to Istanbul. So, but my wife wanted Istanbul as well. So it was so complicated, and you have to decide whether we stay there, because Ankara was so nice, so cosmopolitan, so many different, plus with Anne's new boss there, British colonel, and they were organizing parties now and again, cocktail parties. They were inviting people, and they were inviting me as well, but she wasn't happy with the family. So she doesn't want to stay with the family. So I had to move. So even in the restaurant, I was helping a few nights, and sometimes a weekend. I finished the army. My position finished. So I said to the the manager, restaurant manager, I said, look, we are going to go to Istanbul. Oh, why? Because we don't want. We don't like Ankara. But at that time, it's difficult. There was an offer from all over the place. Sometimes with this cocktail party, you see different nationality people, all the high-ranking people, even the Canadian deputy from the embassy. He said, would you like to come to Canada? I can organize your immigration to Canada. And my wife says no. She prefers British. Okay, then in this case, we decided to go to Istanbul, have to find a job first. So this guy from the restaurant, you see, networking, he says, look, in Turkey, you can't apply for a job for like that. You have to know somebody. So this somebody was the chef, the future chef, going to one restaurant, hotel in Machka. It was newly opening. And I have to go see him. So he will introduce me for the job in the new hotel. In England or other side, you fill the form, go for interview. No, here, you know who you know is best. So next time we are going to go, we are going to see who I know did the job well or not. Okay, find me the job. Thank you very much to listening, everybody. Bye bye. Take care.